If I can get you to look up here real fast. This isn't available yet, it's still good, but this is what we got going for today, okay? So we are going to have a warm-up, and it's going to be on the linear inequalities that we talked about in the last couple of classes, okay? So that video part 3 and 4 that you saw. I'll give you about 5-10 minutes or so to gather your notes, talk with one another, see if there are things you still don't get. And if you need to, I will go ahead and demonstrate a couple things on the board, okay? Otherwise, we'll take the warm-up quiz. If you get done with that soon, this is kind of like a chance to get some extra points. This is a really easy isolated variable IXL. All right, so you should be able to get 100 on it. Yeah. Relatively easy. That's not lunch. Is that lunch?
That's a snack.
Yeah, give it. Shut up. That's food. That's not food. That's all artificial. That's artificial.
This is all natural.
That's not found in nature.
All natural.
Cheetos are not found in nature.
Those are cheeses.
Oh, that makes sense.
They grow to the
Okay,
love
go
the
ahead.
Yeah. Get them up like.
All right, really. So go ahead and go on to this, okay? Now, it's not due till the next class, but if you can get it in before the end of the period, it's even better. Then, I'm going to talk, Danny, I'm up here. We're going to talk about a finals. I'm actually rolling out your finals brush. And where's half of your finals? All right, so I do want to talk about that after we're done. Okay? Can I get everybody to disengage? We're going to pray real quickly, and then we'll get started with questions. Okay? So, disengage from anything electronic. Let us remember. Again, just continue to pray for what's going on in Europe. There's a lot of people that have suffered terribly. Pray for the victims, especially. Let's continue to pray for the refugees who are fleeing, war, strife. Places where there's a lot of war and destruction and a lot of violence. There's millions of those people. This is a real opportunity to realize, that the fear and hate do nothing but cause destruction. So what is an appropriate response? What is an appropriate response? Do you want to pray for anybody or anything in particular?
Jack, happy birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday, Jack.
Louise, it's her birthday?
Happy birthday.
Oh,
It's your birthday too, right?
no, mine was yesterday.
Oh, so you were born like
12 hours
past the
apart.
12. Gotcha. They were all in the same, they were in the same, what do you call those places?
Nursery.
Nursery. They were in the same nursery together.
My family.
Wait, for real?
Your family? Mother?
My mom showed me videos.
Was she really?
She was 2 miles away from one of the moms.
Wow. Was she that good?
No, they wanted to stay there, stay indoors, and wait there at a restaurant, and then they heard the bomb going off, and they had to stay inside.
Wow. Very, very safe return. Anybody else? Yeah. Definitely.
Trying out this week.
Absolutely. All the soccer and what else is going on? Basketball. And for all you guys too. Let's try to be kinder to one another. So for all these intentions, let's ask our founders to pray for us and live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
All right, good people. Can I get you to sign on? Let's take a quick look up here and I'll make it available so you can see what's happening.
Come again? Okay.
So now is your chance to talk to one another and look at your notes. Now folks, let me tell you, I have found, I've been kind of keep paying attention, people who are using their notes during these warm-up quizzes are doing a lot better than those who are not, and they're improving. So please, again, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing again without
Expecting
different.
a different result.
Exactly, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you're not using notes and you're expecting your grade to improve, probably it's not going to happen.
True.
Right? Very true. So consider bumping up the meatiness of your notes, so to speak, okay? So talk with each other for about 5 minutes or so, see if you have things that you still want to talk about, and then I will go over any problems.
what is the one quiz in now?
Bruh, stop, bruh.
So let me just take a quick look.
You guys just gotta remember, like, if it's negative,
What's the
the
one
difference.
quiz on again?
On the last one, linear inequality.
Yeah, if you have like a negative on one side, then you yeah, because like you have to flip it because you have to have the 2 different points, so one of them is flip. So they can't be the same way, so you can't have one like
Yeah, Coleridge.
so you can have it like this.
You still need to start having uploading.
I had Coleridge last night.
Oh, yeah.
I was there for the whole first.
No way.
Yes.
Like the first 2 weeks and we did like,
The one on Coleridge.
it was crazy. Way more First what? Dude, that's not that bad. I mean, I had like a D minus. Yeah, I had a 30 D.
Actually, no, this is my birthday.
Percent not out. Dude, some people got off 100%.
For my birthday, I went to the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Say something.
are you ready? Do you have any questions you'd like to clear up before we actually take the warm-up quiz?
It's not available for me.
I'm not making it available yet.
The whole day isn't available.
Yeah, not yet. It should be available now.
Refreshing.
Go.
Oh, okay.
Ask your question.
Say like you have
Better than quality.
3 plus 9 absolute value x plus,
Okay, so hold on, let me just go ahead and do this.
3 plus 9
3 plus 9 times the absolute value of.
x plus.
So, wait, hold on. Folks, standing, please. Folks up here. All right, guys. So 3 plus 9 times the absolute value of.
X plus 2,
Right?
any sign you want to do, greater than or equal to.
Okay. Let's just do that.
Alright, so, would we add 3 plus 9?
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to think about these as what? A bunch of small problems into a difficult problem, right? So what we're practicing is we're practicing taking these apart and seeing the simple problems. But I want to give you another image. Think of these as presents that someone wrapped up. They put it in a box. They put the lid on the box. They put paper on the box. They taped up the box. They put ribbon on the box. And what you're doing is reversing that, right? You can't just like reach right to the middle of the box. If you do it in the incorrect order, you screw up the present. Right? You destroy things. You have to take off the ribbon first. Then you have to take off the paper. Then you have to take off the lid. And that's what this is all about. So let's take a quick look up here. What's the first thing I need to do to start to unwrap this? And this is the order of operations, by the way. That's what order of operations mean.
Divide by 9.
No.
How would you do?
Subtract 3. So again, if you look at PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S,
Oh,
you reverse it. So you do these two things first, then these two things,
Why do you,
then this, then this.
why do you reverse it?
Yeah, why do you reverse
Because you're unwrapping it.
So when would we,
When would you use it before?
yeah, that's what I was, when would you use
When you're
that?
solving.
That's actually kind of bringing us off topic. Can we get back to that when the examples actually makes a little bit more sense? So let's actually just stay on this one. It's a great question. I promise you I'll get to it because it does make sense to actually cover that. But for right now, let's go ahead and subtract 3 from both sides, okay? So that's our first step. All right,
I have a question.
here's our 2. I'll get to you guys, hold on 1 second. That's plus 2, and now it's going to be less than or equal to what, 3? what would I do next according to this unwrapping
Divide by-
terminology?
Divide by
Divide by
9.
9, right?
What?
So let's just go ahead and divide by 9. And remember,
Every,
exactly, thank you for saying that, everything on the side. I'm the equal sign in the middle, right? These are the two sides. If I only do part of this side and do this whole side, I've imbalanced it. So do the whole side. All right, so whenever you divide something by itself, what do you get?
one.
You get 1. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't become 0, and it doesn't become nothing. It becomes 1. That's why that whole multiplying by 1 thing is kind of a powerful concept, right? It becomes 1. Multiplying by 1 just gives me this. On this side, it gives me what? 1/3. So thank you for that. Here's my third step. Again, keeping track of things. Is that negative?
Would you put x over 9 and 2 over 9?
Well, this is over the whole thing. There's no separation
Oh,
really
right.
between these. This is all just a multiplication that happens. So this is actually over the whole side, and I don't have to put it under here.
So wouldn't that be the same thing as what we used to do, and just by dividing one part and then dividing another?
So let me just give you a brief thing on this, because again, we don't want to take too much time. Let's just pretend that's a problem, right? Let me see. Let's do it this way. No, let's keep it the way it was. Each of these are individual terms, right? This is a term, this is a term, 2x is a term, and then that's a term. What you have to divide are each of the individual terms. Now notice, I said this is just one term. It's a multiplication, but multiplication still means it's one term. So let's look over here. This is a multiplication. It's one term. So when I divide the whole side by 9, I'm just doing one term. I don't have to do it here and here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that way it gets us back to this. Now, we've got this. You got to do a quick graph. This is saying that I want my absolute value to be less than 1/3 away from 0. Less than 1/3. So here it is on the positive side. It's going in that direction, less than 1/3. Luca, help me on the next one. What about on the negative side?
So then, well, what I would do is, it would be, it's greater than -1/3.
Awesome. So here's my -1/3, and it has to be greater because I have to be closer to the 0. So when I write this out to finally figure out how to break it apart into two spots, I'm going to say x plus 2 is going to be greater than or equal to a -1/3. On this side, it's x plus 2 is going to be less than or equal to a +1/3. And then you just go ahead and solve each of those simultaneously and come up with your answer. Okay? Again, that's taking that big complicated problem and breaking it down into simple parts. But you have to understand the complex concepts along the way. Yeah.
So, why wouldn't you add 3 plus 9?
Because, and this is where you're going to make me go back to this, aren't you?
Subtraction goes first, always. It really does.
This is, you don't do this, you do this first. This is where PEMDAS comes in.
Ding, ding.
This takes precedent over that,
Okay.
according to PEMDAS. Okay? Great question to ask. Okay, can we start the quiz now, or do you have other
No, we're
questions you
good,
want
we're
to
good,
clear
let's
up?
go.
All right, you people, have your notes ready to go? Again, no time rush on this, however, being
Is it was 18?
18, I think, isn't it?
I hope so.
Okay.
This is algebra. It's hope one up.
available?
I'm trying.
Oh. Thank you.
Let me just make sure that all the things are set up. So on the settings, no time limit, 1 attempt, randomized order, yes. Question review, yes. Resumable, no. And you can't see the submissions until we're all done, and then we'll talk about it, okay? And I think I can make it available, and I think I can save those changes. Hit your refresh button, you should be all set. We're good, you're up. Okay, now you're in test mode, please, so that means no talking, other than just your own work. So I know you're kind of new to this class, so you need help on this. Good? Got paper? Okay, that sounds good. So these are just 5 inequalities, guys. Remember what we talked about in the last class? Most of the mistakes are not mistakes of understanding, they're mistakes of precision. Right? Yeah. Questions? You ready to start giving them warning? You start, start closing this in about 2 minutes. Yeah, this is